You want to be successful at life, you want to be successful at business, doesn't really matter. If you just want to be successful in general, um, you have to have something to guide you along the way. And if you have no guide and no truth, then the likelihood of you actually like making it through all the craziness that we encounter every day, the likeliness of you doing that and becoming hugely successful is slim to none. And so for me, I love Jesus, and I came to know Jesus when I was in my mid 20s, and ever since then my whole life has changed. And so I remember when at that time I had an ice sculpture business, and I'd been in business a couple of years. And business was okay. It really wasn't doing great. It was kind of a struggle. Actually, literally every single month, I would calculate, but how much I owed versus how much I was making in the ice sculpture business, and then I would calculate how, if I sold everything, if I sold all the equipment and that I had, that could I pay off the debt that I had and kind of break even and get out, because it wasn't going so well. And so every single month I did that, and every single month the debt number was way bigger than the money that I would get from selling everything and the money I was making. So I was still working a day job at this time, and I was like, if I sell now, this gap is so big that my day job, it'll take me many years to like get out of that hole. And so I would kind of use that. That was like my motivation. Like, let me just go one more month and see how we do. And I did that for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years, of just every month just wanting to get out, right? But then I came to this process of like trying to figure out who I am, and I ended up coming to know Jesus as my Savior. And immediately upon doing that, some things started to change in my heart. But also, I started reading the Bible, and the Bible is the ultimate business book. If you want to, there's business books on every shelf in every bookstore or online or Amazon. But if you want the one book that will change your life and radically increase your business and your success, there's only one book that'll do that, and that's the Bible. And you're like, that sounds really crazy. This Bible written, 2,000 years ago, maybe I don't even believe it's true. And you're kind of wondering like, hey, does this, like that thing would have absolutely no reference to modern day? Well, I can understand where you're going and what you're thinking on that, but just indulge me for a minute. So this, one of the guides I've had for my life for a long time now is Psalm 15. Psalm 15 has literally changed who I am. And then from it, we'll talk about that. From it, here, we'll talk about what happened. So, Psalm 15, I'm going to read it to you today. This is out of the NIV. This is a psalm from David. David and Goliath, big dog David. So, Lord, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Who may live on your holy hill? He whose walk is blameless, and who does what is righteous, and who speaks truth from his heart, and has no slander on his tongue, and who does his neighbor no wrong, and casts no slur on his fellow man, who despises a vile man, but honors those who fear the Lord, who keeps his oath even when it hurts, who lends his money without usury, and does not accept a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things will never be shaken. So if we dive into that, what ends up happening when I read this psalm and use it as the guide for my life is it basically works on me. It works on my character. And things in here like, you want to have a walk that's blameless. I want to walk around this life and not do things wrong to people and have to defend myself along the way. And so if I do that personally, or if I do that professionally, if I want to do a great job for my customers so that when they're done, they have nothing, there's no blame, there's no animosity, there's just happy people. Well, happy people keep saying yes and purchasing your goods and services, right? And so when I first started business, I thought the goal was money. And so I was always chasing the dollar. And then when I came to the Lord was like, no, the dollar is just a result of you doing a great job and being a great person. And so I kind of drew this circle where I was always kind of, the top of the circle. I was always chasing the money at the top. And God said, no, go the other way and start at the bottom of the circle and work your way around. And this part of the circle is work on you becoming a person that when you're done with a customer, that there's nothing left except greatness, some good relationship, right? So his walk is blameless, who does what is righteous, who does what is right. I teach my girls that to be the first one, and then they say to do the right thing. Every day before, when they were in school, I driving them up to school to drop them off, and we give kisses and hugs, and hopefully you do that with your kids, and kisses and hugs, and I say, hey girls, be the first one. And they go, to do the right thing, Daddy. And sometimes they'd be like, to do the right thing, depending on what, if we had to drag them out of bed for school. But you want to do what's right. And how do you learn what's actually right? Well, the Bible has all the right answers, if you'll just give it a chance. So, who does what is, who does what is righteous, who speaks truth from his heart. So just be truthful and has no slander on his tongue. We have a rule here at the classroom that we never talk bad about the guests, because you guys, you're amazing. You who come here to us, you're amazing. And we're thankful that you're here. And so crazy things happen, and we still never talk bad about you guys because we love you. So, and you can keep going down. Who does his neighbor no wrong and casts no slur upon his fellow man? Who despises a vile man? Like we shouldn't really like the bad people, but we honor those who fear the Lord. And then those who keeps their oath even when it hurts. So just recently, I booked this party, and it was for a group of kids. And the time they wanted it was, it was like 4 to 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, and it's kind of really an odd time for us to have a class. But you know what? I gave them a huge discount. It was a school here locally, and I was happy to do so. I really was, until I got a call from another client who wanted to bring a whole lot more people and pay full price for about that same time frame, and so we're talking 5 times more than this client. I would be getting paid 5 times more than the one with the kids. And so I called the lady. I said, hey, lady with the kids, I said, hey, can we move dates? Is that possible? And, and she said, no, it's really not possible. Can we change time? No, the time needs to be in. I said, okay, just checking. And I had to keep my oath to her, even though it cost me 5 times the result financially from another group who wanted that same time slot and only could do it on that day in roughly the same time slot. And I told the other client, I said, I have other options. I have the day before, I have the morning of, but I don't have that time slot on that day. And, so thousands of dollars I said no to keep my oath. And it hurt at first. But then when these kids walked in the door and I saw just the glow in their eyes, and we sat down and we spent 3 hours cooking together. It was fantastic. It was great for me personally. I think they had a great time and learned some stuff. And all I can think of is, I think the Lord will bless when you keep your oath, even when it hurts. He'll take care of you at a different time. He's taken care of me so many times over and over that I just can't thank him enough. And then I just love that the last line in this one, he who does these things will never be shaken. I get stressed sometimes. I get worried. Sometimes I get anxious. But when I am following the principles that I learned here in the Bible that will make you successful, he who does these things will never be shaken. And so no matter what's going on in this world, I do feel like I have solid ground and that I will not be shaken. So the Bible is for your business and it is for your life. And I'm living proof of that.